Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 210. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz, and we are presented by DraftKings. Knicks and Nets both in action on a Saturday evening, and both teams lose. The Nets go down in Minnesota to the Timberwolves, hang in the game. They're leading for a lot of it, but ultimately get blown out in the fourth quarter. While the Celtics do what the Celtics do. They don't lose. They beat teams, undermanned or not. Knicks get an ass whooping from the Celtics. Game got close in the fourth quarter, close-ish. But the Celtics basically wire-to-wire victory over the New York Knicks. Knicks now 1-1 since the break. Post-break, the Nets 0-2. Good morning, Alex. How you doing?
Good. Ass whooping's a little bit much, but they were close most of the game. But whatever, they did lose by a good amount. And make sure you follow the podcast, subscribe, give a thumbs up, all of that to support us. You know, that's very, very helpful. And if anybody wants to advertise, we're looking for other advertisers as well. We have DraftKings, but we're always looking for more. So feel free to hit us up. You guys know where to find us at Knicks Central, at Mike Delivers Pod on Twitter. And the Knicks lost, but you know what? They were close most of the game, and it got up to 20 with like a minute 38 left in the third. Porzingis hit a three, but the Knicks fought back and cut it to 13 going into the fourth quarter, and then they got it to 9. And then there was one sequence, I think I sent it to you, Mike. I know you were watching the Nets, and it was like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds, and Alec Burks got one and basically grabbed it with 2 hands and slammed it on the ground and bounced up into the air. We're like, what are you doing? Grab the ball, man. And, of course, there was some bogus tip in by Horford, and that just gave the momentum right back to the Celtics, and they didn't look back. So it's a tough, loss. Knicks are down 3 starters and, played the best team in the NBA and most complete team in the NBA, I'd say. And, they gave them, they were close for most of it, but I think if they have either OG or Randall, they can maybe make this even closer and, dare I say, steal it. But without both of those guys, it's going to be very tough to beat these teams in the playoffs. And, this was a playoff atmosphere kind of game. It was national TV, 8:30 on a Saturday, number 1 broadcast on ABC with Breen and Doris Burke and now JJ Redick, who I'm not a big fan of. And, it was a tough. I hate losing national TV games. They feel like 2 or 3 losses to me because everybody's watching it, and then everybody's going to have a comment on it, and people are going to make up that there's "Let's Go Celtics" chants in the crowd when nobody heard it. There were like 10 people, dude. Like you didn't even make it on TV.
You sound like a Net fan when there would be "Let's Go," like no, but it was I was recreating life because there would be similar chants. Recently it was a disaster, but I'm talking about like for a few years ago, and Knicks fans would be all over it, and you would have the Net fan defending it. Well, it was on TV. It was different. Did you hear this? I don't think this. So I didn't watch the game. I was watching the Nets at that moment. So I'm just seeing this, but in real time going, it reminds me of Net fans defending the crowd. I mean, it really did.
Well, of course, Nets fans jump in, and the reporter who did it used to cover the Nets, Christian Winfield. He knows what he's doing. He knows.
I don't think that. I don't.
Oh, give me a break. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's done it before.
He's
a good reporter. I like him, but he knows
big fan base. Doing. It's a big fan base, the Celtic fans. They got in there and they made noise. They're up 20. It's not the end of the world. If you see the videos, fans, it happens.
There's literally like 10 people, dude, and it's like a 20-point game in the fourth quarter. It wasn't like the reason why Knicks fans get on TV for being in other arenas because it's overwhelming and you can hear it on TV. I literally didn't know it happened. I'm watching the game and every second of this game, and I didn't hear a thing. And people who were at the game tweeted me too, and were like, "I didn't hear a thing either."
Right.
No, oh yeah. So now we're making it up, right? I'm the one making it up, not the reporter.
I know how it goes. I know how it goes when fans get in the building. I know how it goes, Nick.
Yeah. No, I made it up. Why don't you watch the game? You can watch the game and go to the exact moment of the game and tell me if you hear anything.
I saw the clips on Twitter. Celtic fans
you saw
cheering.
The 10 people in the crowd that were chanting it. That's fine, and nobody can hear it past that section. But I'm sure the reporter was sitting right there. Yeah,
Boston's a good fan base, Alex. They get in there.
Oh,
they're loud.
Great.
It happens.
Great fan base. Yep.
Nothing like that Celtic basketball. Hey, Knicks down big. you're at a rival team. Let's
Mhm.
go Celtic chants happen. It happens. It's not that.
It
It's
wasn't
not the end
loud
of the
though, man.
world.
It's an
You
exaggeration.
you
The
saying
tweet
that
was there was an eruption, and that's such an exaggeration. You couldn't even hear it on TV. That's
I
like
had Boston fans
ridiculous.
telling me how loud it was.
Oh
I have
yeah,
direct
yeah, sure,
information from
sure.
Celtic fans. I can't
I heard
believe
cheers.
how.
No, I'm not gonna lie. When Porzingis hit that three to go up 20, and and then in the fourth quarter, there were cheers. There were some cheers from Celtics fans you could hear, but there was no "Let's go Celtics" fan chant that made it on TV that was loud enough. That's BS. It wasn't like it was completely silent when the Celtics scored buckets. Of
Of
course, I'm not
course.
gonna lie, but it's not like the eruption of "Let's go Celtics" chants at the Garden like didn't happen. Like it was there, but it didn't make it on TV. That's not an eruption. That's so a couple fans saying "Let's go Celtics." So
Well,
that's the deal,
I have. Well, you know what? Let's settle this once and for all. So
right?
here
You're
we
gonna
go.
put up the video of the people who are sitting next to the people who are chanting "Let's go Celtics." The 10
No,
people.
I'm looking for the definition of eruption. Okay,
Okay.
an act,
Well, don't
a
Google that.
sudden,
I don't know if you want to Google
ugh,
that.
a sudden outbreak of something, typically something unwelcome or noisy.
Noisy. Exactly. It wasn't
I think
very
we had an
noisy.
eruption.
That
I
end
think there
was it
was an
noisy?
eruption.
I want
I
you to
think there
go to
was an
that point of the
eruption.
game and tell me if you hear it on TV because you don't.
I
But of
did
course, every Nets
enjoy,
fan needs to act
of
like, look,
course.
see, somebody else took over your arena. And it's
Well,
bullshit. It's bullshit. You guys are just pathetic and you're losing and you suck. So you're trying to catch on to anything that tries to hurt the Knicks and
and it
it's not going to
worked.
work.
Well,
It
it
didn't
did
work.
work. Well, it did
It
work
didn't
because
work.
it
It
did
didn't work because
work.
it's a lie and everybody knows it's a
I
lie.
think.
He
Well,
knows
I
what
don't
he's
know if
doing.
it's.
Christian knows what he's doing. He's good at
I
his
don't know if it's
job,
a
and I'm
lie.
not trying to hate on him, but he definitely exaggerated,
I don't
and
know
I
if it's a
exaggerate things
lie.
too.
I don't know if it's a lie, but it definitely worked because
It was a lie because I was watching the game and I didn't hear it. And there's people tweeting me that said they didn't hear it either, and they heard just some noise, and they're like, "What the hell are they doing?"
right,
And that's
right.
it.
Now, well, hey, bottom line is, Nick fans can deflect when their arena gets taken over, but I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Yankee
yeah.
fans are used to this with the Red Sox. Jet fans are used to this with the Patriots, so
Oh,
it's
my
nothing
Jets fans with
new.
every team, the Jets.
So it's nothing, it's nothing new. It's just when it happens to the Knicks, it's a very sensitive topic for Knick fans
Well, if it happens, it
because
happens. Like last year with the Cam Thomas game, or whenever that was, 2 years ago,
2 years
last
ago,
year.
unfortunately,
The Cam Thomas game, that was the Nets fans were there, man. I mean,
yeah,
it was the day after Valentine's Day. No, I'm just kidding. But the Nets fans were there, and you heard it on TV. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like you heard it. Knicks fans were
right,
kind of checked out at that point, but you heard the game, like you
sure,
heard it. And the Nets were good, so they
eh,
they went to the Garden,
ish.
and but last night wasn't that with the Celtics. It wasn't that. That was just
Nah,
bullshit.
it was though. It is funny watching. The narrative switch from, well, the Knicks don't have their starters. It just keep kicking the can down the road for excuse making. Yeah, that's true. The Celtics are a very good
They
basketball
are
team.
not
So
taking
if
it
you
away.
don't
No,
have your players and you don't play at a top level, that's going to happen. And also, this was a Celtic team that did this on the road. So
right.
they did go into the Garden where the Knicks are very good and put on this display. So I don't know how to. It's very difficult to just sit here at the same time and be like, well, the Knicks didn't have their starters. So what? But at the same time, the Knicks are never healthy. We don't know what's going on with Julius Randle. There was an update that I think wouldn't be the most exciting, saying that surgery is a possibility. I know there's video of him practicing, but who the hell really knows what's going on? And not to sound cliche or like everybody else in the world, but it is honest. If
Mhm.
Julius Randle isn't fully healthy and isn't playing at a top level, the Knicks have no chance in the playoffs. As much as we've been shitting on Julius Randle for not being the guy that they need in the past, as good as Jalen Brunson has been, he needs some support because once you get into the playoffs and you play, dare I say, playoff Jimmy Butler, who is scary. When you play Giannis Antetokounmpo, when you play Jason Tatum, when you play a Joel Embiid, if you don't have multiple stars, I don't care how good Brunson has been, and he's been excellent, right? It's just not enough. I mean, this is the NBA. If you don't have multiple stars playing at the top level, you are not winning a championship. It's just that simple. I mean, as easy as it sounds, if you don't have to, I look at the Nets, they had Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. When you have Durant, no Harden, no Kyrie, Durant was playing so well, they almost made it to the conference finals, but without a sidekick, it's just not enough. And that's what the Knicks are waiting for. And in the meantime, I'm just happy to see the Celtics beat them up on prime time. So Knicks fans for at least a couple minutes, can be a little humbled for just a little time, because I know that'll change instantaneously when they beat the Pistons coming up in a couple days.
Yeah, no, the Pistons are awesome with Quentin Grimes now. Does he get a tribute video? I don't know. We'll see.
God,
But
he better not.
I'm kidding. But I think the Knicks can make a decent playoff run, maybe to the conference finals, even if they get OG and Mitchell Robinson back. But if they don't, even without Randall, but if they get like one of those three back, and they're not going far, and maybe they'll win a round, and that's it. Like it's just it sucks because this year there's a lot of promise, but you know what, like I said on the last episode, they are kind of set up for next season too, which I don't want to look at yet, but you got to resign OG. But if we can get healthy for next year, going into next year, and maybe switch Alec Burks for an actual productive player, maybe things will change. But I don't want to look at next season yet, but like I said, OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson healthy, with Hartenstein fully healthy because he doesn't look 100% yet, then the Knicks can do some damage, but I think that without two of the three, like OG, Mitch, and Randall, they have no shot. So it is what it is. But the Nets, Ben Simmons gets hurt again, right? So that's exciting. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
I mean,
kidding. It's not exciting when he gets hurt. Just I'm joking, guys. Just I'm saying because it happens all the time. A sore something, sore
Yeah, I mean, the
buttocks.
Nets are a mess. They
Yeah,
they come into the post All-Star break. I mean, they get their ass absolutely handed to them by
right.
the Raptors. This game, there was no Rudy Gobert, so that made a huge difference with the Nets in the paint having a little bit of help in that sense with him not playing. But um, the Nets just were so bad from three. I mean, they were just terrible. And yeah, the latest on Ben Simmons is Kevin Ollie said Ben Simmons has a knee injury and will get imaging done before the team clarified that it is a leg injury. Simmons missed a game. This is from Eric Slater on Twitter, who's a great follow for Net fans.
Yeah,
Simmons missed a game due to swelling in his left knee after returning from his recent injury. He missed 2 extended stretches into the knee last year. So you know what that means. He is done for the
he's
season.
done.
Not
Yeah.
like and then Eric quote tweeted himself and said, "There's no plan for Simmons to undergo any imaging on his leg at this time per team." So who knows what's
So
really happening?
yeah,
I think get in the weeds of Ben Simmons, but I think the writing's on the wall that he's whatever.
he's toast.
He's
Yeah.
toast. Yeah, not that he was playing that great anyway. The team was playing well with him. He's just not the same player at all, and not even the same player from the beginning of the season when he was helping the team. So Nets are in a bad place. I'm in a really bad place. You got
And
no
they're still
picks
only a
this
couple games
year.
out of the play-in, though, right? They're not even that far out of the
I
play-in.
don't
What does
think
that do? But like,
I mean, it'd be fun. Don't
yeah,
get me wrong. Without your picks, with
right.
no
Might as
like lottery
well, right?
incentive. But they just I like my Mikal Bridges feelings. He's a very good player, and the only way I can kind of compare it for Net fans, and I don't think he's as good as this guy was, but like Richard Jefferson, prime RJ, couldn't be your number one on a team, but he was
Right.
very good, borderline all-star, could definitely help your team to a
Dunk it
title.
on anyone. Yeah.
But you can't expect him to take on the load as the number one. It just wouldn't work. But when you add him as the number three and you put other stars around him, that's how I feel about Mikal. And I think for him, unfortunately, he was put in a bad situation. Not life like with the Nets. It's not that bad here.
Right.
But the expectation of okay, we traded Mikal, we traded Durant, an all-time great. Mikal comes back, so Net fans see this promise of this spike in his performance. Oh, he could become a superstar. That's just not who he is, and that's not fair for Net fans to get on him because he's not playing like a number one. I had more issues with Mikal leadership standpoint, verbally making fun of Net fans. That was my bigger issue. I can't get on him because he's not ascending to a number one. Like he's like, hey man, I was just traded for Durant. I'm here. Would I like it if he was playing better? Of course. I think Mikal's a very good player in a piece, in a franchise championship level team. Absolutely, he can be that guy, but he's not. He's not Jalen Brunson. He's not he's not a number one.
And he
And
did help a
unfortunately,
team get to the finals already. He did that as a number 3.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
So it's
exactly.
like it's possible,
Yes,
So
exactly,
anyway.
exactly. And these guys were just unfortunately Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges asked to get better with
Mhm.
more on their shoulders, and it hasn't happened. It's been the exact opposite. And you look at the Johnson contract with $100+ million looks dreadful. Nick Claxton's a free agent. You can't give Nick Claxton $20-25 million. I like Nick, but this team's going nowhere. They don't win. What's the point of giving him a contract that you're gonna same thing? Hope he builds into. It's just pointless at this time. Unfortunately, if you're Sean Marks, you got to get out of this mess. You're kind of like, do I give Nick Claxton money and then settle for losing him to free agency? Or do I suck without him? Like it just suck with him. It's just a problem, man. They're just at least Ben Simmons next year will be expiring, so that helps, right, Alex? I know you wanted to stretch him out, but at this point,
Well,
he's
at this
done for
point,
the
after the
season.
deadline, what does it
He's
do
done
at
for
this
the
point?
next year. He's an
Yeah.
expiring contract, but from a roster construction too, when they dealt him, if you have $40 million for somebody that's not playing, it's really, really challenging to put a roster together. And when Harden demanded out, that switch off. And at the time, remember, Net fans had hope. It was like, all right, we got Ben Simmons. He hasn't played in a year. We know he's not the same guy. But when you're thinking like, oh, if I put him around Durant and Irving, maybe it won't be that big of a deal. And at some points, yeah, that was there. But the Durant, Irving are gone. Ben Simmons is now here without them, and you just seeing everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. So I'm tongue in cheek in the beginning of the episode when I'm making fun of Celtic fans getting into the Nick Arena, but you're right. Nets got. I mean, like I've at this point, Alex, I rather see the Knicks lose to the Celtics than the Nets beat the T-Wolves because of just how bad. And I texted you last night, and I'm going on forever here.
It's
But it
okay.
kind of feels nice and therapeutic.
Just
I
keep
was,
talking. Yeah. It's your
I
show.
was, I always wanted to say that. I texted you when the Nets were down 2 with 6 minutes. I said, not only am I confident they will lose this game, they will lose by 15. And
Mhm.
gosh darn it, they lost by 15. And that's just how I feel about this team. You just know where it's going.
You
So at
never
this
texted me
point,
that. You're lying. See, he's
I,
lying. He's
I
like a Nets
screenshots.
fan.
At this point, you just know where this season and where this team is going. And unfortunately, my biggest moment last night was Celtic fans erupting at MSG.
Erupting, yes. Yes. No, I'm the Nets really are stuck, and Claxton is also doesn't feel like the sharpest tool in the shed either, or I don't know if that's the word. The sharpest knife in the drawer. There
Well,
you
I
go.
wouldn't be
And
using that kind of cliche quote and then getting it wrong about intelligence.
well,
Be
you're not
careful.
going to give me $150 million. Like, put it that way.
Nick can't finish around the rim lately, too. I mean, they
Yeah,
just,
he's
it's a
not
mess.
happy. You know what I mean? Like you can tell he hasn't been happy since they got rid of the big three, and he just is always moping around. And he makes some big plays, and it just doesn't seem the same guy. He might need to change the scenery, maybe do a sign and trade in the offseason, but you're losing one of your guys, your homegrown
Yeah,
guys
but he's
that
not
like you
that. They're not
wanted.
that good. That's the problem,
And
Alex. They're not
yeah,
that good. Like,
yeah,
there's a homegrown guy, but they lose by 30 every night. Like, who cares? They suck.
right, right.
They
Just
stink.
go, yeah, package
They
him
just
and get.
stink. And Cam Thomas is not happy. This whole it's a bad situation.
But at the
It's
same
a bad
time, it's like if
situation.
you can't rebuild, then you decline the Rockets trade of Bridges for the
So
picks
dumb.
back and for your picks back. Why don't you just sign Claxton and then you have the piece because you're going to be stuck with Ben Simmons. Maybe you can trade him and then because if you get rid of Claxton, you got to get a center. So it's just what are you going to do? Maybe you can flip Ben Simmons and Cam Johnson and do something
I
there.
don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. It's a
You know?
tough spot. Like I said, the
Yeah.
Nets really need a lot of work. I just don't think tying up all your salary to Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton and being 10 games under 500 to me just seems silly.
With no picks. Yeah, it just
Yeah, I
makes
mean,
no sense.
and
Yeah.
next year they'll have the pick back, and they do have all these
Oh,
Phoenix
they
draft
do?
picks.
Okay. So
Yeah,
next year
so
they have
every
their own
year it
pick.
swaps. I
Yes, yeah,
believe
yeah.
so.
Yeah. It's not a
Corey, if
pick
you're
swap or
listening,
something? It's not a pick swap
I
or
don't.
something? Yeah.
Corey, you're listening. I know you'll text me. It's 5:20 in the morning. A seven thread of what I got wrong. I mean, they're gonna, it swaps every year. They're getting through the picks. This year they don't, and then they have all these Phoenix picks. So that's the problem. That's the problem is they have all these Phoenix picks,
Hmm.
and,
And the
and I
Phoenix is
say it's
awesome.
I
Yeah.
say it's the problem because it's why Sean Marks is not making trades, because they have this delusional belief that
Mhm.
then this offseason that they're going to retool with Donovan Mitchell and somebody else, and they're just going to go into next season with a whole new team. I mean, I don't know in what world now why Donovan Mitchell would ever want to come here. Like, in what world is that happening? Because
Right,
he's
right.
friends with Mikal Bridges. I
But
mean,
he's
it's
also
just not
friends
enough.
with Jalen Brunson, and the
I'm like,
Cavs are good too.
yeah, why would you want to? I
So,
mean, I don't know why you would want to leave a situation where you have a
yeah,
really good basketball team
and you're the guy. Yeah,
to
that's
go
your
to the
team.
Nets. I mean, he would help the Nets a lot,
It's all
but don't
about
get me
coming home
wrong.
for him, really. It would be in that situation.
Ugh.
He's from Westchester. He's an, Mets fan. He wants to be close by, I don't know, with his dad. I don't know. But I'm looking on Fanspo. I don't know how correct it is, but it says the Nets have the Suns pick next year and not their own, with no
That could be right.
protections.
I've lost track of it.
And then but they have a second, which is Miami's, which is protected 31 to 37. So that's it for next year. And then in 26, they have two seconds. And then in 27, they have two firsts, and that's Phoenix, and then Philly. That's 1 through 8 protected. So yeah, they're pretty bare in the cupboard. If Fanspo is correct, which I don't see any reason why they would be incorrect. They're usually
Well,
pretty
they're
good. They do all
bearing
the
the
trade machine stuff.
I mean, they're bearing the cupboard in the sense of their own draft picks. But then if you just look for the next 110 years, they have every Phoenix pick, and they have that Dallas
Yeah,
pick that they're
29, they
banking
have
on.
three firsts, Dallas, their own, and Phoenix in 28, that they have their own. That's it. And 2 seconds. Yeah. So 29 is the year. So you gotta wait till 2029. You have three first round picks.
Holding that Dallas, like everybody's like, oh, we're holding on to that Dallas pick because in 2029, when Luka is on the Knicks,
Right.
and
Or
Kyrie
when Luca
Irving
gets
is on the.
somebody else to come with him and they win a championship and it's a 30th pick in the draft.
I mean,
32nd.
that was the unprotected pick they got in the Irving deal, which is
Hmm.
that was the centerpiece of the trade, getting that back. Dinwiddie's gone.
Yeah.
Um, Dorian Finney-Smith is. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. The problem is the Nets. This is the issue with the Nets. It's like their starters and the bench are the same in caliber of talent. So a lot of times, you'll be like, oh, our bench comes in. It's not, but the problem, that's not bad. The problem is it
Well, that's
just
how it was. Yeah.
it's just all below average NBA talent compared to every other team. So it doesn't
Mhm.
matter who's starting or coming off the bench. It all just sucks.
That's how it kind of was with Quickly. He wasn't below average, but felt like a starter on the bench and who can come in and give you that spark. And I really want to know what it would feel like if we still had Quickly and didn't give him up for OG, who doesn't play ever. So that's why that trade really turned me off, the OG trade, where it's like you give up RJ, you had to give him up. You give up Quickly, I feel like you didn't have to give him up. You just didn't want to pay him. And then, and he had nowhere to play, and you get OG who's always hurt, and then Precious has been a really good player, like really good, and then you flip Flynn in another deal, but for Burks and Bogdanovich, which works out. I mean, it wasn't because of Flynn; it was just salary. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I'd rather have Quickly over Alec Burks, coming off the bench and giving you a spark and dropping 30 every now and then. I mean, that's a part of this team that's missing, and I know they're injured and without three starters, but if you weren't going to resign Quickly, just keep them for the year and let's see what happens. You can give up. You have so many picks, unlike the Nets, that you can just trade, and that you can't use anyway. Like you have your roster's full, and sometimes I feel like they're always worried about next year and not really worried about this year, but. They are, because they got guys who are win now players like Bogdanovich, but they're just hurt. And it just sucks. The whole thing just sucks. And you mentioned Rudy Gobert before, and I just want to bring this up because I've been thinking about it. Rudy Gobert trade has been known as the worst trade in the history of time, as far as everybody's concerned. When in reality, the Timberwolves are a title contender right now and the number one seed in the West. So how bad was that trade really if they're going to if they could win a championship or
Sure.
get to the finals, dare I say? So at the same time, yes, they give up a lot, but what are the Jazz right now? Like, and now they have the Timberwolves picks, and they're going to be shitty picks. Like, it's just get the talent is really what it comes down to. If you
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
talent already, is really also because you have Anthony Edwards and Towns, and a couple other nice pieces, and you
Conley.
add,
Yeah.
so it
Well,
is what it is. I just wanted to throw that out there. I was been thinking about that lately. How trades take time to really materialize like the Kwame Brown trade. Everybody's, they got Pau Gasol, and it's like, oh my God, the Lakers, you handed the Lakers 2 more championships. How could you do this? It's a horrible trade, Kwame Brown. And Stephen A. Smith becomes famous from that rant. He stinks. He can't play. And then all of a sudden, you see the guy that was thrown in the deal was Marc Gasol, and he becomes the best player in the history of the franchise of the Grizzlies. So was it really a bad trade? I know they didn't win anything,
Right.
but he's going to get his jersey retired by the Grizzlies. So I think it was a pretty good trade for them. So
Well, here was
whatever.
a bad trade for the Nets.
Yeah.
James Harden to Philly for Ben
Yes,
Simmons. Now,
that's a
maybe
bad
the
trade.
bad trade was Harden for LeVert,
Allen.
Allen, and all those picks.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you go back in time, if the Nets have a healthy Kyrie, a healthy Durant, Allen, LeVert, Torian Prince, and all these draft picks, now they'd be in a much better place. I'm not even talking about winning a championship because who the hell knows? Probably not. I'm sure something would have gone awry too. But the idea of now, right? You wouldn't have Simmons on the roster. You'd have all your draft picks, and at least you'd have some hope. But
Well, you had to
those
make that trade
trades,
though. When you got
but
Harden, as much as I didn't want the. If I was a Nets fan, I wouldn't want him at the time because he was, dressing up in the fat suits and really
in the
wanted out of there. And
he wasn't in a
Evan,
fat suit.
well, he just put a lot of shit in his practice uniform because it looked like he was fat and he wasn't.
I know.
Because all of a sudden he got
That's
to the
fine.
Nets and he lost like 20 pounds. They're like, where is this? And everybody saw the pictures, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. And
I
Evan
know. I know.
Roberts,
I'm
had
joking.
that famous rant, dribble, dribble, fat, fat, when they traded for him, and he was pissed, and he ended up being right. But at the same time, I was like, holy shit! Now the Nets literally can win a championship. I got like nervous because if that works out and Harden plays his role as the number 3 in the point guard, and the Nets really can go on a run here. And we know how that worked out with the injuries
Yeah,
and everything. But
injuries.
you know,
But
you
Alex,
had to make that
injuries.
deal. If there's no
Yeah,
injuries, then Nets literally can win a championship.
right.
You don't
But
know.
but that's what I'm saying. Knick fans are talking about, well,
Yeah.
when we're just healthy, when we're just healthy. I mean,
Right.
who
Right.
knows?
Who
Who
knows?
knows?
Well, that's life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, trust
Nothing's
the
guaranteed in
Nets.
life, Mike.
The
Yeah.
Nets would. The Nets were up 50 to that Bucks team in games 1 and 2. They were toasting them. And I said it. I said it after game 3. Irving rolled his ankle, and they blew that game late. They were up 4 with like a minute left or something. I was like, "Fuck." They
Mhm.
just, or maybe it was game 4. I don't remember which. It was one of those
Whatever.
games. I think
Yeah.
it was game 3. And I was like, "That's a problem,
But
man."
Kyrie always got hurt in the playoffs. He
Yes.
always does. Every other year, I mean, he blew a couple Cavs championship chances with getting hurt. He gave.
Yeah.
Remember, he gave
In
Steph
the
the business
finals.
in Game 1 of the finals that first year, and then he hurt himself, and then the Warriors didn't look back. And LeBron's like, "Fuck, I'm on my own again in the finals." So that happened a couple times, man. So the year when Kelly Olynyk pulled Kevin Love's shoulder out of the socket, that was ridiculous. But. And they still got to the finals. But anyway,
Jeez, it's a long
I
time
don't
ago
know.
now.
The Knicks, it's tough. I'm disappointed about the game. Like I said, the national TV games
Yeah.
mean a lot to me, especially on ABC, and not like a random Thursday TNT, but like a Saturday night. Everybody's out watching it at their bars, and people who aren't really paying attention to the NBA see it on TV when they're out with their friends. That really annoys me, but it's not the end of the world. You got the Pistons on Monday. You got the Pelicans on Tuesday.
We're good.
Then you got the Cavs coming up, which is for the
Warriors there.
tiebreaker. You win the Warriors, but that Cavs game on March 3rd or 2nd is huge for the tiebreaker because 4 teams have the tiebreaker on them already in the East in the top 8. So you got to win that game. So there's a lot there, and it's all in front of you still. And I'm staying a little positive and they have lost a good amount of games lately, but like I said, the injuries are really crushing them. They need OG back and Mitch back in the worst way. But Mitchell Robinson posted us on Instagram. He's standing fine with no boot in front of his truck. I don't know
It's
how he's
nothing.
walking, but that's a good sign. You said Julius Randle's was caught in the background of somebody practicing, shooting around and looking fine. I don't know how he feels. I'm not inside his body. OG Anunoby is, who knows, but we'll see. He's doing cardio, so that's a positive. I'm trying here, and it's just difficult because I there's so many high hopes for this team, but it may not work out this year. But it's not the end of the world, and it's not like it's all about this year and that's it. Like there's still things to be positive about for the future. So, but to keep it going here, and I did my Knicks contest, and I'm going to announce the winner. of the T-shirt contest. I gave away a never worn before Ewing Athletics T-shirt of the Ewings. Mike, I know you know those shoes, and it's a very, very cool T-shirt. And the winner is drum roll.
I don't have it. No sound effects today in the morning.
It's gonna be at King Gum Deng 84. KINGGUMDENG 84. Congratulations. I'll DM you. He's a great follower of the podcast and really cool guy. So I'm happy he
Nice.
won. And so I'll hit you up and we'll figure that out. And away we go. So you ready for the Dolan J. Trump trivia?
I hope he read the fine print where he says he has to pay for shipping. The T-shirt's free, but the shipping you're gonna need. So sorry about that.
It's going to be the cheapest shipping possible. It's going to be like ground 15 to 20 days or something. It'll be like 10 cents or something, but
get it in 14 years when OG Anunoby returns from injury. Knicks 7-13, Alex, versus Eastern Conference playoff.
I'm not sending it international though. If he lives overseas or something, it's not happening. So we'll pick a different one.
All right, you want to go first or you want me to go first? Dolan J. Trump sponsored trivia. We read the jersey number trivia. We'll read some information from him, and we'll see if the other person can guess who that player is. And I know, Alex, if I know it, not to say it out loud.
Okay. Yeah, you got to buzz in. So I'm going to read some clues of some Nets players.
I won't get it.
And we'll see if Mike can guess it. So buy Dolan J. Trump. Buy his merch. He says he doesn't sell it anymore, but buy it anyway.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I don't have merch. I go, I don't care.
So what are you selling? Right. Follow him on Twitter at Dolan_J_Trump. Okay. This is a Nets player now, Mike. Okay, ready? And buzz in. Don't say it. Buzz in.
I got you.
He played 6 years in the NBA, but only one in New Jersey, which would be his final season in the league.
6 seasons in the league, one in Jersey, his final year in the league. Don't know it yet.
I hate that clue. It's such a throwaway clue.
I'm trying to think who ended their career with the Nets
but only 6 seasons. So how old was he? Despite being drafted 5th overall in the 2006 draft, he bounced around the league with stints in Atlanta, Boston, Minnesota, Denver, Sacramento, and the Knicks.
Oh, wow. 5th pick in the 2006 draft. Huh. So that was, let's see, now I should know it. That's bad.
Yeah, that's your wheelhouse right there.
Wow. So 2006 in his final year in 2011, he clearly was a bust. Good job, Mike. Okay, keep going. So.
He signed with the Nets as a free agent in 2011, but may be remembered for being part of the Carmelo deal.
Man, my brain is just whack right now. So you know who it is probably after reading this before.
Yeah.
No, obviously you saw the answer, but you probably know who this is.
I always try to guess myself, but
keep going. My brain is not firing.
He's kind of a forgotten player, so it might be difficult.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
With the Nets, he appeared in 58 games and made 35 starts at center, averaging a robust 4.6 points and 6 rebounds per game.
I'm off. I'm tired. I am in the excuse making game today, Dolan.
Just wait until he gets healthy. Wait until Mike gets healthy.
Yeah, I'm just all right.
He attended college in the ACC at the same university as Josh McRoberts, Trajan Langdon, and Grant Hill.
Oh, I know it now.
You're buzzing?
Yeah.
He has a very close family member who also played professional basketball.
Yeah. Now I know. I know now.
With the Nets, he wore number 33. And the answer is?
Sheldon Williams.
Got it. Good job. See?
Yeah, it took a while.
Duke gave it away?
He was the 5th pick in the draft. Jeez.
And he is married to Candace Parker. So
yeah.
Every Knicks fan's favorite person right now. So.
That's right. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know he was part of that Melo deal.
Or he was married. I don't know if he's still married. Whatever. But they were married. So.
I didn't know he was in the Melo deal.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. There was a lot of people in there in that trade. Yeah. It's crazy. So.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
He played 7 years in the NBA. With 3 of those seasons with the Knicks.
Just 7 years in the NBA. Guess it. 3 with the Knicks? Okay. I have no idea. But go ahead. Go ahead.
It's funny because I feel like I would get this over the Nets one. He was a late first-round pick of the Bulls in 1996, but would go on to be named to the all-rookie team while playing for the Lakers.
1996 with the Bulls, an all-rookie team with the Lakers. So he was on.
So he really wasn't. He was drafted by the Bulls, but not really.
1996. Sheesh. In 3 years with the Knicks. I'm trying, like, I can't even picture a person. Okay, go ahead.
He appeared in 126 games with the Knicks from 2000 to 2003 without ever making a start. And where does he get this? This is great info.
2000 to 2003 without making a start in the Lakers.
Well, he appeared 126 games with the Knicks without making a start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all rookie with the Lakers. I'll give my own clue. He was not Kobe, who was on that all rookie team.
Thanks. Oh man. The Lakers. That's
Yeah, I
really
would know
killing
this.
me.
I would know this.
Okay,
But I
keep
would,
going.
yeah, this one. He was acquired by the Knicks in a 4-team trade that included the likes of Glenn Rice, Patrick Ewing, Horace Grant, and Chris Dudley. Some of these clues are ridiculous.
So mad that I can't get this right now. I feel like I should. Maybe he's not known for being a Laker. Maybe that's why. But
No, I think he is a little ish.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Ish?
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
Okay, go
He
on.
won a title in 2000 with the Lakers and also played for Boston during his career.
He won a title? Oh, geez.
The next clue gives it away.
All right, then let me try it now. Oh my God, why is this? Like, I feel like I should know this, and it's really bad.
He has the same birthday as Dolan J. Trump, but was born 6 years prior to the Knicks president.
Oh, thanks. Like I know.
Yeah, that throwaway question.
Just a little pat on the back. Yeah, I have a birthday.
He likes salmon. Yeah. It's like, okay. He attended the same university as Josh Boone, Khalid El Amin, Ray Allen, and Karan Butler.
So UConn. I can guess somebody.
And the last clue is his number whenever you're ready.
What's the number?
44.
I'm going to guess, and I think it's right. Travis Knight?
You got it.
All right, there we go. I just don't remember him on the Lakers. Like,
I remember him and Kobe.
I don't remember.
That's where I remember, yeah.
Just the draft day picture of him and Kobe.
I just have a memory of Kobe and him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't picture him on the Lakers. That's what's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know the Bulls drafted him, though. Good job, Dolan. Got me on that.
Yeah. That's tough.
We got them both.
Well, do you know who drafted Emmanuel quickly?
The Grizzlies? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, somebody of those draft day trades. It wasn't the Knicks. It was I forgot now.
Yeah. Kind of impossible for me to answer that.
There's so many, like, you look at in 10 years, you're gonna look at the Knicks draft picks and you're like, wow, who the fuck did they draft?
No, I know.
He was drafted by the Thunder, who probably drafted everybody over the last 10 years.
You're right.
Definitely.
So they have a million draft
the
picks.
Thunder. Yeah.
Oh, sucks. All right.
Sucks.
Bad weather fans in the books. Celtics fans erupt at the Garden. Take it over. Rough night for the Knicks and their fans as they get embarrassed as the Celtics come in and it bleeds green at MSG.
Can the Mets sign somebody, please? How about that? And, can I just say that with Kodai Senga? And you're wearing a Mets sweatshirt, not a Knicks sweatshirt. And it's just bothering me. I'm thinking about Senga getting hurt, who's probably going to be out until August. And like, it's not a big deal. Some doctor gets on Twitter, like, he's not going to throw it till like June, July, maybe, you know? And so it's just, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So can you just sign Montgomery or Snell or somebody and just bring them in? And can we try this year? We have more money than God. Like, can we just like throw me a bone here? Something. Thank you. But
somebody needs to take this sweatshirt and just take the Mets thing off and put a Knicks thing. They could really troll me.
Yeah, Bobby. Job with that. He'll do it. Rude boy.
Yeah. So we'll find out. Does Bobby get to the end of the show, or was he just so disgusted with Mike's boring net takes that he couldn't make it? Was the eruption just too much for Knicks fans to even want to listen to this podcast? I would be shocked if they did. Honestly,
you know what pissed me off more than the fake eruption at the Garden by Celtics real fans? The 5 offensive rebounds on one possession with no center on the floor for the Knicks. That's another point I forgot to bring up earlier, is that they went small and it burned them because Pritchard got a rebound there. He's the shortest guy in the game. But anyway,
Celtics are annoying. I mean, they're good.
They are.
I mean, they are really good.
Good teams are annoying. They are.
Good teams are annoying. And Tatum, I mean, They're just built for success. They're
are.
just loaded.
They are. They're built for speed, not for comfort.
I mean, and they got rid of Kyrie and they improved. Everybody's like, oh, when you get rid of Kyrie Irving, your team gets better. Not the Nets. They stink.
Well, yeah, the Celtics were already good without Kyrie and got to the conference finals when he got hurt. One of the other years he got hurt in the playoffs.
Tatum and Brown, they're building.
Yeah, and they had Rozier at the time too, but
Nets really are the worst. They might be the worst franchise in the NBA right now. You could argue
worst franchise in the NBA, worse than the Pistons. I don't know.
At least the Pistons have draft picks and young players.
Yeah, but they already have a number 1 pick on the roster, and they're the worst team in the NBA. So
yeah, the Nets. You could argue it. Nets are in the Mount Rushmore of bad. I'll put it that way. I mean,
that is top 5 bad. Yeah,
top 4,
not top 4. Thank you.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore's 4, but
I'm not the sharpest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't be making more jokes. Don't be making those jokes again. All right, Bad Weather Fans, episode 210. Thank you to all the fans for listening to the show. We appreciate it. Subscribe. Of course, we're on YouTube as well, so go hit that like button. You can check us out on the video portion of the pod if you want to see us bright and early. Alex, again, sorry about the eruption at the Garden last night. Celtics get the W. I had you a little irritated early.
You did
because you were like, you're like, at least they're not the Nets who suck. The problem is I can't be like, well, you're right. I got no argument. You would say, got nothing.
At least I didn't go to championships. Like, at least the Knicks have championships, Mike.
And then I would say, okay, Alex, how many did you see in real time, in real life?
And the Nets have championships with the ABA. I mean, it counted. Yeah. It's where they played. So it's just the league folded. But, I mean,
yeah,
it was a championship at the time to them. So.
Does the championship really matter if you weren't, like,
no,
to you personally? They matter. They matter a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, like, 1973, I mean, you weren't around yet.
No.
Or negative 11 or something.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in 84. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, whatever. Yeah.
I'm not the sharpest. No, but
all right.
It's, I hear you. Like the Yankees fans with 27 championships. It's like you were alive for one, some of them now. Because the last championship was 2009, and before that was 2000. So a lot of people have only seen one title.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
And there's some people that have seen probably 5, all 27 that are alive.
I doubt it.
Could be. I bet you there's.
It could be 100. Yeah, it could be 100.
Oh, definitely. Wow, that's imagine seeing 27
not even
titles in your life.
Didn't they have more championships before? When was their first one?
I don't know. I don't want to get. I'm so not in the mood. I've done such a poor job of knowing facts in this episode. The Nets draft picks. I don't want to expose myself for more information I don't know.
1923 was their first championship, so it's impossible unless you're 110 years old.
There's definitely a Yankee fan that's seen.
That's 110 years old and knows
110. It's be 101.
Yeah, but like alive and knowing what's going on.
Well, I'm just saying alive. We're not saying like
alive. So born in 1920, that's 104 years old. I don't know.
All right. If you've seen all the titles, tweet us.
If you're 110 years old and you're listening to this podcast and you know your knee from your elbow, like give us a call and we'll put you on the podcast. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you. Your knee from your elbows. All right. Talk to you later, Alex.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.